Hello everyone, welcome back again to Spiritual Growth Tarot and Astrology. I'm Denise and I'm using the Sawyer's Path Tarot deck today. And this reading, I'm actually doing it on Tuesday. I always have to do them the day before because I release them to be, I schedule them to be released at midnight so that no matter what time zone you're in, they're up there for you. Anyhow. So this is for Wednesday, you can see in the title, Wednesday, September 14th. And the moon's in Taurus, and it's conjunct the North Node. The North Node is our future, the direction we're all going. So we're all headed towards more safety, security, bliss, happiness, valuing ourselves, healing any self-esteem issues. And it's going to cross over right after the North Node later on today and into the evening. It'll be conjunct, it'll join with Uranus. So expect breakthroughs in those departments. Maybe breakthroughs with your finances, breakthroughs with knowing what you really want. And because it's opposing the South Node, there's releasing all those old false beliefs that hold you back, that don't serve you anymore. So you can see we have the Ten of Wands here so far. I love this deck because I turned them into crystals. Jamie Sawyer turned them into crystals. And with this deck, at least the guy can see his feet, right? Or he can look ahead and look down. He can look wherever he wants. It's not like the traditional Rider-Waite where he can't see anything. So it's the card of being almost there. You're almost there. The Ten of Wands is our perfect card for just getting done with some hard work is what I'm feeling today. We're using this deck. If I was using a different deck, I might say something a little differently, but that's not the deck I chose for today, so obviously that's not the message. Okay, what else? Yeah, see? Four of Pentacles. It's about healthy boundaries, getting clear on what you want. The Four of Pentacles has everything to do with boundaries, securities, having, it's the things that we have, just like the moon in Taurus. It's what we have, and it's all about protecting ourselves. So there's something about that. It might be that you're feeling overwhelmed. I would say with the transits going on, and if you haven't listened to the weeklies, I do have the timestamps in there, so you can hop forward to just today's. But the overview of the week is, Mercury opposing, it's moving, it's definitely opposing Jupiter. I was going to say Chiron, but that's not going to happen till, next month after Mercury goes direct. But so Mercury retrograde in Libra, which is, our planet. So Mercury the messenger in the planet, Mercury, the planet that's the messenger. Ooh, big changes. Okay. Mercury, the planet that represents our thoughts, communications, gathering information, the way our minds work, and messages that come through. In the sign of Libra, it's all about relationships. And opposing Jupiter, well, Jupiter's in Aries, and it wants things done now, and we want things the way we want it done, and darn it if the internet goes out or something doesn't work right, because it's Mercury retrograde, we might just kind of fly off the handle. So be careful not to get overwhelmed with these cards here. Try not to feel overwhelmed. Focus on what you already have. I'm being drawn here to the little, not the little bit, but the beautiful purple. And the dots going up to her, from her third eye up to her head. And the fact that the pentacle on her head, it would be very grounded. And she is grounded. She's holding, the pentacles are all about our physical being, physical material reality on all levels. But all these purple jewels here on her head are just, that's making me feel like the third eye, feeling that it's important to feel your gratitude for everything that you have. And that's how you create the big change. And because that's what the death card is all about. It's not about death. It's about, well, the only death it's really about, unless it's accompanied by like the Ten of Swords and the Four of Swords or something, then that can be challenging. That could indicate a death in someone's life. But I've always gotten this card when I was about to go through a big transition. It means nothing more than death, rebirth, transition, big changes. So maybe this has to do with setting really healthy boundaries around what is it that you want, and that's how we can create the big change in our lives. And to not be overwhelmed with everybody else's energy that's coming at you and they want something from you, right? Because this is carrying a heavy load, no matter what position it is on him. Even if it was on his back and he was totally, handling it very well, it's a heavy load. But we're there. We know what we want. We, inside of ourselves, have everything we already need. Your creativity, your love is always there. Your ability to create that big change in your life is already there inside of you. Now, sometimes we don't, often we don't feel that way. We feel that we don't have enough. We feel that, or we are literally experiencing in the physical realm that we don't have enough. If that's the case, try and shift your perspective to what you have inside of you and open up to any feelings you need to process through. If you are going through feeling helpless, that's probably coming from a very young age, and it may be nonverbal. It may be infant time when we truly were completely helpless and unbelievably vulnerable as infants. And sometimes that's the burden that as an adult we have to transition out of. But that doesn't mean you stuff it down. That doesn't mean you ignore the anxiety. It doesn't mean that you are wrong or bad or inadequate in any way. These are just human feelings that we have. And as we are adults and we have our healthy boundaries, we can say no to too much that wants to come in, and we can make that transition to go in the direction that we want to go. It's just a matter of shifting your perspective, right? So if you didn't have your real needs met when you were a child, and none of us did, because our real needs are to be in like 100% pleasure all the time, that would mirror who we are as spirits in our big spirits. But if we don't have our real need for connection and our real need to be seen and heard and understood, then, and safety, right? Safety, comfort, then we're going to grow up feeling overwhelmed by life. And to create the healthy boundary, we are going to have to go through those transition periods of feeling whatever needs to be felt, and know that you're not going to die just from having terrible feelings, unless you're going to, you're thinking of hurting yourself or someone else. Then that's completely a whole different case. I mean, that is something that needs to be taken care of professionally, and I'm not here to talk about that. But I can say that when we don't process things through, we can stay stuck. And if we don't meet the pain, we can stay stuck. And then what we do, because we all have a very real need for pleasure, what we'll do is we'll connect to a substitute need. We'll create a substitute need in order to feel pleasure. And that's where we run into, too much food, too much drink, too much anything to numb out, too much TV, too much time outside of ourselves, right? So to break those vicious circles, we just have to get in touch with the real pain and understand what the real needs are. And as we go through it, though, expect to be a little depressed, because we're trying to connect the dots And this goes with the astrology for the week as well. We're trying to track the patterns. This is what Venus in Virgo is all about, moving close to the sun in Virgo. This is what Virgo season is all about, is tracking those patterns and cutting things away that we don't need anymore, that we don't really need, and go towards what we do need, which is to have yourself, to have all the parts of yourself, best you can as a human being. And I don't care what you have to go through, you're still 100%, absolutely 100% lovable and beautiful and perfect already, deep down inside. And we don't have to be perfect with each other, right? Boy, can I attest to that with all the mistakes I've made. So, okay, well, that's all I have for today. I'll be back soon, or I'll be back tomorrow for Fridays, or Thursday. Yeah, Thursdays it'll be. So, take good care, you guys. Bye-bye.